Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kepada Allah kita bersyukur, kepada baginda Muhammad SAW, kepadanya kita bersalawat. Baiklah, pada pagi hari ini kita akan melaksanakan ujian proposal oleh saudari Putri Naflah Tabitah. Pada ujian hari ini terbagi menjadi dua sesi. Sesi pertanyaan yaitu presentasi proposal oleh saudari Putri Naflah Tabitah, dan sesi kedua sesi tanya jawab. Baiklah, langsung saja saya persilakan kepada saudari Putri Naflah Tabitah untuk memaparkan proposalnya.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The Honorable to the examiner of the seminar proposal, and the Honorable goes to my supervisor of the seminar proposal. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Putri Naflah Tabitah MTH. I'm from English Education Study Program. I would like to thank for the opportunity that has been given to me to present my proposal with the title of the use of public reading application in improving reading ability of the 8th grade at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor. Well, the first chapter is Introduction. A. Background. Reading is a type of receptive written language skill. Called receptive because by reading someone get information, knowledge, and new experiments. B. Problem statement. The first is how to use the published reading application in learning at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor, and the last, how to improve students' reading ability at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor. C. The objective of the research. The purpose of this study was to determine whether the published reading application could improve the reading ability of the students at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor. D. Significance of the research. The purpose of this study was to determine whether the published reading application could improve the reading ability of the students of SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor. The first is theoretical and the last is practical. E. Scope of the research. The scope of research on student motivation is how the effect of using the published reading application in improving the reading ability of 8th grade at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopor. F. The definition of terms. This study would like to present the definition of key terms as follows. Application. Application are the main component of research, where their use is more to train students in reading French language correctly, so that can increase students' reading interest and reading skills. The second is published reading. Published reading is an activity that lets children learn English words and pronunciation, listen to fairy tales and bedtime stories, watch fun videos, save their favorite books, and share content with friends, and more. And the last is reading ability. Reading ability is an aspect of academic aptitude and refers to the possession of the physical and cognitive capacity for efficient reading. And second chapter is literature review. A. Previous study. Improving the students' reading ability at the 8th grade students of SMP Muhammadiyah record method. A. Survey reading. In survey reading, a reader suffers some information that they want to get. Thus, before the reading process, a reader must know what kind of information the readers need. The second, scanning. In scanning reading, the reader quickly to answer a specific question quickly. When scanning, the reader only to locate specific information and they don't follow the linearity to the passage. And the last is skimming. Skimming is technique in which you selectively read and skip in order to find only the most important ideas. B. Theoretical background. The first is reading. Reading is the action of a person who reads. kinds of readings. In teaching English, there are the kinds of reading. The first is reading aloud, silent reading, and speech reading. And last is reading ability. Reading ability is very difficult to assess accurately. C. Conceptual framework. In this study, using classroom action research methods, it means to improve reading ability through the published reading application. In teaching and learning activities, there are many factors that can improve reading ability. One of which is by using the published reading application, the output of this research is that students can improve their reading ability. D. Hypothesis. Based on the learning theory and research results that have been described in the background of previous research, research can formulate action hypotheses as follows. So the learning activities tend to increase by using the published reading application. E. Operational definition. The first is published reading application. Publish is an online English picture book library for all kids from 2 until 12. Publish offers the best online reading experience. The second, reading ability. Reading ability is very difficult to access accurately in communicative models. A student reading level is the level at which the student is able to use reading accomplish communication goals. And the last chapter is methodology of research. A. The method of the research. This research was conducted by applying classroom action research. Classroom action research is used because it is aimed to improving the result of teaching and learning process. Action research can be very valuable to extend teachers' teaching skills and increase more understanding for teachers themselves, for the classroom, and also for students. B. Design of the research. The research began with surveying and identifying classroom problems. A classroom problem, pointing to the classroom practice that is improved to result in better learning achievement of the students. C. The location of the research. This research conducted in SMP Muhammadiyah Palopo, located on Ahmad Dahlan Street. D. The subject of the research. The subject of the research was the 8th grade of SMP Muhammadiyah Palopo in the academy. The research took one class, that is 8A. E. Instrument of the research. The first is observation, the second is interview, the third is test, and the last documentation. F. Procedure of the research. Cycles. Every cycle in the classroom based on the research consists of planning, action, observation, and reflection. 8. Technique of analyzing data. In this stage, the research analyzes the data. The data was taken from the last analysis by using the following. The first is the research tried to get the score for action within one cycle. The second, the research tried to get the class percentage which passed the minimal mastery level criterion. Considering English subject gained score 7.6, which was adapted from the school agreement at SMP Muhammadiyah Palopo. And the last is to analyze the objective test from students. The research used the application that was statistical produce and surface solution. The Honorable Examiner and my supervisor for the session, I think I have presented of all the content of my proposal with all my presentation. Thank you for kind attention, and I will be ready to answer some questions. I give it back to the moderator.
Terima kasih kepada saudari Putri Naflah Tabitah. Selanjutnya sesi pertanyaan oleh dosen penguji, kepadanya dipersilakan.
Well, thank you, moderator, for the change. Well, according from the research presentation before, that you choose the classroom action research. My question is, why you choose the CAR or classroom action research to be your research method? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the question that has been given to me. So, the question is, why I choose the card to be, so the question is, why I choose the card to be my research method. So, I will answer your question. This research was conducted by playing classroom action research. Classroom action research is used because it is a means to improving the result of teaching and learning process. Action research can be a very valuable way to extend teachers' teaching skills and increase more understanding for students, for teaching skills, and increase more understanding for teachers themselves, for the classroom, and also for the students. I think that's my answer. I give it back to the moderator.
Demikian paparan dan sesi tanya jawab pada ujian proposal hari ini. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.